Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Fried Friday 420 story. And not really not really a 420 story. It's more like just a Fried Friday. So today we're gonna be hitting the pen and talking about a story that happened to me and three of my friends one Friday night. So pretty much how the story starts off is basically we there's like this big celebration in like our town. Like there's like this basketball team that was like really good in like our town, and they won, and there was like a big celebration for it. And we spent like the day at our community center, or like whatever they say. That's like where we all go to play basketball and everything. And we were all ripping the pen. It was me and my three friends. We're gonna call them Bobby, Vinny, and John. And Bobby was from Somalia, but he had been at our school for like 3 months prior. So we had gotten to be like really cool friends with him. He like smoked and shit, and we were all chill. And my one buddy Vinny, he liked this one girl that was in like our school at the time. I don't know if she still is anymore because I haven't seen her in class. Because, well, not even that I haven't seen her in class because she's like a grade lower than me. But pretty much that night, Vinny tried to tell like this girl, we're gonna call her Zoe. He tried to tell Zoe that like he liked her and all this shit. And she had a talk with him, and it didn't really go out so well. And we're like in this party for a little bit. We're like in like the party across the street from like the community center. So we're talking, we're having all this fun, and we were drinking, smoking, having a chill time. John was just there because we called him out because like if he wanted to smoke up and shit like that, and he was always down to smoke up. So we ended up going to like there's like a playground at like this community center, and the the like I think like probably like 3 minutes while we were there, Vinny goes to everybody and says, "Yo, let's go dingdong ditching," and we're all like, "We're." Me, I was much. I like when we first started hanging out. Me and Vinny, I was kind of like a pussy. I didn't really want to do anything, like except like smoke up and drink and shit like that. So whenever something like rebellious came along, like if it was like drinking and smoking, I would be totally down. But if it was like stealing something from a store, like ding dong dishing, I always bitched out. So like I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I don't want to do this. Being a little bitch, and Vinny's like, come on, man, like my night got ruined. Let's go ruin someone else's. Now, that's not who I am anymore. Like, I agreed with him at that point. That's not who I am anymore. Me and Vinny are actually no longer friends. Me, Bobby, or John, because John just went away. Vinny and me stopped being friends because he was one of those like controlling friends. And Bobby went to Bobby moved to Texas, and now he's like in a school down there. I still hit him up from time to time just like to see what's up with him, but like it's like mutual. It's not like going back and forth all the time. But pretty much we ended up going to the projects, which is right behind the community center, and we waited a good while. And I think it was around like 8 or 9. And as we're going up there, we're we all decide like which houses we're gonna get. We started off by hitting two houses before. And oh yeah, just to put it out there, guys, this won't be the only ding dong ditching stories. I have a lot of these because for how short of time I had in my like how short of time I have in my teenage years, like right now, I probably went ding dong ditching for at least 2 years. I don't do it anymore because I really don't find like anything funny about it. Usually you get out of that shit when you're like 13 or 14, but that shit kept going on until I was like 15 and 16. Sorry, that hit the pen. But anyway, we ended up doing this one house, and my like Vinny had said like, oh, this house like gives like a really good reaction, so we're like, okay, this house like ought to be like a really good place. We did it the first time. The lady came out. She didn't even say anything. She just came out and just went back in the house. And then I had to go do it because we all took turns. It was me, it was Vinny, John, me, and then Bobby. So I went up, I knocked on the door, and the lady came out. She started screaming. She's like, "Hey, what the fuck? To come knock on my door again, see what happens." And I'm running, and we're on, like, there's like a part in where this house is where there was like a gate that led down to something we called the rocks. And it was like this little like thing, like this little like open parking lot next to a restaurant. And the I did it, and I went like to that gate where they're all sitting, and I was basically like, "Yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it again." They're like, "Come on, dude. Like it wasn't even that good of a reaction. You gotta do it again." I'm like, "No, fuck that. Bobby has to do it. Like Bobby, I'll let you do it." Cause Bobby was down. Cause he was leaving in a little bit, so he was like, "I'm down." So he did it. This motherfucker is wearing Crocs too, and he had a cramp. I pray every day for Bobby because Bobby was like the G for doing this for me. Like Bobby was like one of those friends that like if you needed him to do something, he would do it. Like that's how good Bobby was at doing shit. And he went up and did it, and as he gets halfway out, the lady comes running out saying, "Hey, get over here now. Come here now. Come here. Come here, motherfuckers. Come here." We all dip down into the rocks and we start climbing over shit. Because at this point, she goes back in the house and we start laying on like the big pile of rocks. And as we're laying there, this guy comes out and we thought it was like I think he had like a fucking whip or a gun. We first thought it was a whip because of the way he was flinging it around, but we thought it was either a whip or a gun. And that's when like our assholes dropped. Like they dropped. Like I wanted to shit myself. That's how scared I was. But to begin with, I was already a bitch at this point. I didn't like doing ding dong ditching. I didn't like doing rebellious shit like that. I still do rebellious shit today, but I'm like more mature now, and I know how it feels being ding dong ditched. Like it fucking sucks. It's like you're sleeping, you wake up, and someone's knocking at your door. It's like, what the hell is wrong with somebody? Like I have work tomorrow. That's why I don't do it anymore. I know what it's like. Exactly the same as like if I'm playing basketball in the middle of the night with my friends, I didn't know like why everybody was getting mad. Like we weren't doing anything, we were just playing basketball. Now I understand it because it annoys the shit out of people. The dog gets up, starts barking, and then you can't go back to sleep, and it fucks up your sleep schedule. So yeah, I'm not like that anymore. I know how it feels to be like wronged and like not do anything about it. Back to the story. Sorry, got a little off on a tangent. But pretty much, this guy is like on the phone with, which we were guessing is the cops because we heard him say, "Can I legally shoot them?" That's when we started freaking the fuck out because we knew. Okay, so basically, Vinny's laying in front of me. I'm laying backwards. John is beside me, and Bobby. Pretty much, Bobby is on the other side, and we hear everybody go like, "Hey, get over here now." They see us, and we get up. We start. Well, they didn't see us at first. We got up, and as we're walking, we heard like we're like halfway out of the parking lot. And we hear somebody go, "Hey, what are you doing? Come here now!" And we dip out, and we go down a road and into the woods because the woods connected back to the community center. So we kept going out into the woods, and we ended up back at the playground. We'd have to go through this like little apartment complex that our vice principal lived at. So that's why we were also scared because we knew he lived there. So we were trying to like dodge in between cars because at the time we were scared that he was going to say something, that he was going to know what we were doing. We were really paranoid at this time because we're also high as balls when we're doing this shit. So we make it to like the community center, and the person that was at that house, we were thinking like, oh my god, they're gonna come down here. That's why we were on high alert. We start calling people and like telling them what happened, and then all of a sudden we see a car driving by, and they stop, and they yell, "Hey, what are you doing? Come here!" We dipped out of the playground and ran upward, and then as we're going upward, we see cops. And that's where we're tripping the fuck out because, okay, guys, I've had a lot of run ins with cops. Sometimes I've been caught. Most of the time, I've never been caught. I've only been caught like once. And the other times I've never been caught, which I'm very proud of. I'm not proud that I got chased by the cops. I'm not proud that I ran away from them. I'm proud I got away. But I'm not proud that police were involved in the stuff that I did. But pretty much, yeah, we got out, and then we basically dipped back to um, Vinny's house. Like I went to Vinny's house and I stayed there like almost the rest of the night. But I went home at like I think like 11:30. And when I'm up in his house, John calls us saying like, "Hey, there was a car following me, and I dipped behind a car." And we're like, "Oh fuck, what car was it?" And he said it was a white car, and I was like, "Oh my god, it was the guy." Because the guy that was driving the car that said, "Hey, come here," he was driving a white car, and it was this, and I was like, "Well, what was it?" Because he was driving a Nissan, and he said it was a Nissan, and I'm like, "Oh fuck." And then the next day we like hung out, and then like we basically just we chilled the rest of the night. We toked up more. We drank a little more, and then after that we hung out the next day for like a little bit. It was rainy as shit too. We hung out the next day. We were hanging around the projects because like we didn't give a shit at that point. We were like, dude, if we get caught, we could just say like it wasn't us because we were wearing different clothing at that point. And I had a backpack on, but at this time I didn't. So I was like, okay, like, let's just go and hang out. And we went there, we hanged out for the entire day, and nothing went wrong. Alright, guys, I'm going to take a few hits real quick before I end you off this video. Also, guys, there's one more thing I want to say. If you haven't seen Blazing the Asian, go check out his channel. I'll leave his channel down below. I follow him. If he doesn't, like, I know he doesn't follow me, but he does a lot of stories like this. Like, he does his hotbox story times. Go check those out. Those are pretty fire. And I wish I could link up with him and smoke with him because like that shit is like type shit like cool. And go check out his new songs. Like I know his one song came out like a while ago, but check out Hotbox and the Honda and shit. And yeah, bro, I'll leave you guys off with this was one of the goodest fried. This is like one of the first fried Fridays I'd had with an actual audience. So, but yeah, guys, Mysterious 420 out.